How is it going, gay relationship revolution friends? My name's Sam Garanzini. I'm the executive director of the Gay Couples Institute, and my husband and I are owners of this group. We're so happy to be creating this space for you. This is live. As you come in here, say hello. This is going to be our regular Monday night installment of our program that we've had on the radio for a long time and then on our page. And we decided to just move it right over here to a group with you guys. So it's called Hear Me Out, and we are live. So as you come in, I can read your comments, and this is totally live interactive. It's just so great to be hanging out with you here. So say hello as you're coming in. Tonight, I definitely want to be telling you a little bit about what we're going to be covering and how this is going to work. So our big topic is all about how to deal with arguments. So there's a lot of tech going on back behind the scenes here. And just forgive me for a moment. We're getting used to a whole bunch of different things. So tonight we're going to be talking all about how to deal with huge arguments that arise from just small disagreements. And Alapaki and I, we've been together 14 years. We're licensed therapists. We're not relationship coaches or anything like that. We're actually licensed to do this. And we created the Gay Couples Institute in 2007. And we still have arguments that arise from small things into just big things out of nowhere. But we know a few things about how to make that work. And we've also walked about 3,000 other couples through that and how to make that better. And I wanted to give you some pointers on that tonight here, some exclusive stuff that we're only going to be talking about here with you guys in the group. So the comment to us was, somebody said, hey, I would just love some strategies to help avoid conflict when it comes to huge arguments that arise from small issues. And let me turn on the comments here. So if you're coming in, say hello on the comments here. That's how I can see it live. I think you have to activate your own personal feed. Or sorry, to allow StreamYard to see it. There we go. Great. So now I've got it on my phone because it kind of prevents it from from me seeing it. All right. So how do I deal with conflict when it comes to huge arguments that arise from small issues? So our mission with you guys, if you choose to accept it, is we want to help you shift from having bad arguments and awful disconnection with your partner to creating a strong emotional bond and a great physical connection. So this is very much possible when you start to work on yourself and do a few things that we're going to show you here and throughout the group over the next 13 weeks that we have planned for Hear Me Out on Monday nights. So let's talk about, before we get into that stuff, I want to talk for a moment about what makes the gay relationship revolution so revolutionary. And it's like this. I told you that we've served over 3,000 couples since 2007, 3,000 gay couples in our clinic in San Francisco and Manhattan and online. What some of you might not know, though, is we are the first place to publish our results in a scientific journal, which we published in 2017. And what was so revolutionary about that is when we went and looked at the success of the couples who go through this kind of approach, of gay guys who go through this kind of approach and work on themselves and work on their relationships. What was so revolutionary about it is that gay and lesbian couples improve 2.5 times more than the general population when they get the same tools. So you have to ask yourself, why is that? And there's a bunch of hypotheses about that, which I wrote about in the article. But what I want to impart is I think that's really because gay relationships have the capacity to be an example for the rest of the world. And I might be putting my neck way out there when I say that, but I don't care, because we have shown that same-sex couples really improve, that faster and more than the general population, which we could assume is a mixture of straight and gay couples at the very least. So this is what is, I think, just so revolutionary about this group. And I think it points to what's revolutionary about your capacity to have a great relationship in your life. And so we thought, what if we just give you those tools to start doing that? And there's kind of 3 pillars that go through that, of working on your confidence, you being happy about your life, which we're going to be working on here in this group, and then also building a strong relationship with your partner. So that's what actually I think makes this group so revolutionary, and that's the foundation of what we stand behind, and where we are always thinking of where we want to drive you. We want to get you to mission accomplished. We want you to be able to feel confident, happy, and build a strong relationship with a partner. That's it. That's all we think about, and that's what we're going to be focusing on here. So let me tell you a little bit about how the Monday night live stream is going to work. It's our show called Hear Me Out. And the way that this works, and as you're coming in, say hello. This is all interactive. It's live. This is a hangout thing that we're going to be doing on Monday nights here. We have special guests on, have multiple people on this. We can use multiple windows. But as you're coming in, this is all live and interactive. So say hello in the comments. I think you have to click that it's okay for StreamYard, which is basically the television stream that we use in order to get this into the group live. You have to let it know that it's okay that it posts your name. And this is all live and based right here. So as you come in, say hello. I'm just so glad to hang out with you guys. You guys are awesome. So how this is going to work on Monday nights. So one of the main premises of this group is all about yes and, not yeah, but. So the yes and mindset is really all about, as you hear something new, rather than shooting it down or going, yeah, but I tried that. Yeah, but that won't work. Yeah, that sounds too easy. Yeah, that sounds too hard. We want you to approach it with yes and. And we want you to really embody that spirit, that openness that comes to when we're going to challenge you here in this group to think differently about your situation. When we're going to challenge you to try something new, or try something that you've already tried with some new understanding of how it's actually supposed to work. So yes and, not yeah but. And you've got to promise me, as part of this group, that's what this is about. So the other thing is, we're really looking for you to tag somebody in the comments here that might benefit from this information. So if you have a friend, if you have a partner, tag them here in the comments and let them know about this information. You know, maybe there's somebody that deals with huge arguments that rise out of nowhere. And you're like, oh my God, this would be perfect for my friend so-and-so. If they're gay, they're in the right space. That's what this is all about. It's for gay guys to work on this, and we're all working on it together. So tag somebody who might benefit from this, or simply just share this episode with someone else who might benefit. So this is all for you guys. So just share it to get this information out if you know somebody who might benefit from that. So we will be live here on Mondays at 6 p.m. Pacific, and I will be right here with you. and Alapaki will be here with us as we kind of get going. But we're just so happy to hang out with you guys, and I'm going to be here for you. I'm just super excited to do that. So let's kind of let's cut to the chase of this now. So the lesson, and this is the part you definitely want to share with somebody else, is all about, what happens when somebody is, when small arguments arise from, or big arguments arise from small things, and allow StreamYard to see your name, and then it will appear in the thing. But as you can see, hello, it's so great to hang out with you guys there. This is everything that we've been working toward to just really serve you in this way. So here's how this works is, let's get to the lesson, and let me know if any of this stands out for you. So what you want to know is all about when you're in a situation where big arguments arise out of small things. What it can really be about is what's called your preferred conflict style. And there's 3 options. And the best way that I know how to do this when I teach this to other people is through an example. So it's been actually heavily researched, gay and straight. We have kind of like 3 preferred conflict styles, and you're going to actually want to get a pen to take a few notes about this, because I want you to think about this. I want you to think about people you know and their preferred conflict style. It's cool though that there's only 3. So the first preferred conflict style, and what I mean by preferred is it's kind of your default. So the example that I like to use is you're in the supermarket aisle, or you're going to check out, and here in Northern California, we have Safeway. So you go up to the Safeway and you got your stuff and you're going to check out, and you're going to go into, you ever see how there's self-checkouts? And there's like 6 of them, or there's 9 of them, but they're kind of spread out, and there's no real like line that goes right to the checkouts. So people just kind of like form a line, and it typically goes down one of the aisles. And what happens, and let's say you're the next person in line. So you've waited your turn and you're there, and somebody walks up and they just go over to one of these kiosks over here to self-checkout and go. They just jump ahead of everybody else. So what is your preferred, like what's your default response to that? It's one of 3 buckets of this. And here's how this works. Yeah, and as you're coming in, say hello, good to see you. So it's one of 3. The first fill in the blank there on your sheet as preferred style is volatile, okay? And volatile is where it's exactly how it sounds. Your response is, hey, what are you doing? Why are you doing that over here? The line's over here. So your kind of first response is, hey, okay? It's volatile, all right? The second preferred conflict style that we know from the research literature is avoidant. And we can kind of guess what this would be like. So your initial response is, oh, I would say something, but that person's probably having a bad day, or they probably just don't know, and mine's going to be fast anyway. So like, it's okay if they go. They're probably in a big hurry. Oh, she's got validators assume that what they're seeing is somehow valid. So they go like, oh, well, maybe there's another line over there. There's a line that goes to those 3, and this line goes to these 6 self-checkouts. So you assume that somehow what you're seeing is kind of valid. So I always remember these for the 3 V's. So volatile, avoidant, and validating. And this is kind of like what's on the tip of your tongue. We actually all have the capacity to be any one of these, but it's a lot actually on how you were raised. So there were things that your parents probably did that you're replicating, or you've seen your parents do, and you're like, I never want to do that. So you're kind of looking to change your own preferred conflict style, and you've learned to become more of a validator, and you grew up in a volatile household, that kind of thing. So that's very possible. So here's how this works if you're in a relationship. And I don't know what it is about relationships, but we tend to not get with somebody who has our preferred conflict style. We are usually mismatched in some way. But I do want to tell you, here is the trick to all of this. Like, the big take home for tonight is, I want to tell you that if you have conflicts that blow up suddenly, you're probably mismatched in your preferred conflict style. Now, you're probably asking, okay, am I doomed? And I just told you, actually, I think most relationships are not matched in their preferred conflict style. So what do you do here? What's really the secret? And the secret is, first of all, it's definitely knowing your style. So one of my challenges for you tonight, as we try to get you to mission accomplished, which is being able to just really change conflicts that you have with a partner or with people around you, I want you to first post your preferred conflict style below. And what is that default that comes out? What is that for you? What's your, based on the the 3-part example at Safeway that I just talked about, what's on the tip of your tongue? Are you a volatile person, a validator, or are you avoidant? That's the first thing I want to do. So the trick is, if you're in a relationship where you are having things blow up out of proportion, like what seems like out of proportion, you want to consider this. And the where you want to start doing is with your partner, and you can do this on your own, even if they're not doing it with you. You want to share a little bit about what I'm talking with you about tonight. And hey, I heard this thing about preferred conflict styles, and I think my style is this. What do you think yours is? And you can give my Safeway example. But the trick, whether or not your partner appreciates all of that stuff, is to understand where they are. And where you want to get is what we call kind of a meta level, where you're talking about how you argue without arguing. So you're talking about conflict. And it can often look like, hey, you know what I learned about myself is I'm kind of a validator. And I think this is my preferred style. And pardon me, when I come up to people that are more volatile, I think I just kind of shy away from that. How do you understand that? How does that go for you? Or you can, so you're talking about it on this meta level rather than acting it out. So this is where you really want to be. The other thing you want to consider is, you can just say to a partner, you can just say, hey, wait a minute, like, I need to slow this down. I need to talk about, my goal here is to find things that are actually valid about this. So can you kind of like give me a little patience while we talk through this? Knowing that your partner's on the volatile end, which is okay. And your goal is to help them, is to make it so your style doesn't necessarily need to change. Because what we found is that these styles are largely permanent. They're actually traits that we have. They're kind of like eye color. They don't necessarily like just go away, nor do they need to. So we know that volatile couples actually have super successful relationships. These are the couples that have sex over the entire course of their relationship without much having to work at it. It's kind of like easy for them. The validator couples, they actually have a wonderful friendship, and that is actually easy for them. And then avoidant couples actually are really good at making huge plans and accomplishing huge goals together. And at some point, we'll get into why those two styles, or why those three styles, bring about those things when people are in those relationships. But for our purpose here tonight, as we're kind of just embarking on the 101 version of this, is you need to understand that your style is what it is. It probably won't change. There's times where you can bend a little bit and actually become a little bit more volatile, and that's okay. Where there's times where you will learn to be a little bit more avoidant and bring this up later and that kind of thing. But you are who you are. And the goal, like, I guess, mission accomplished, if this is your situation, where you're trying to get to, is where you and your partner can talk about this on a meta level without acting it out. So post your preferred conflict style in the comments below. And what I also put in the comments here is, if there's stuff that you want to see us discuss here, we want to hear all about it. We read everything that comes up here in the group, and we get a lot of our ideas from our survey that we have. So there's a link here to our survey link, which you can post anonymously, but I will read everything that you write. The more descriptive you are of your situation, the better. But we just have one simple question for you. When it comes to creating a great relationship, what's been your biggest challenge? And if you could just be as descriptive as possible, that really helps us form content. So tonight's Hear Me Out episode is actually based on somebody that wrote something in, and the gist of it was, how do I deal with huge arguments that arise from just these small kinds of things? And as you're coming in, say hello. We've got an avoider here. I'm going to put mine. I will put my preferred conflict style, but take this survey and let us know what your biggest challenge is. That's where we'll get ideas for all of this. And the final next step that I really want to put out there is direct message us. Alapaki and I and my clinical staff that's here to help gay men through all kinds of situations, we're actually just a direct message away. So I've been messaging many of you in the group and getting some really good ideas of things that you want to see us do, maybe some condensed trainings all about. Just shoot us a message and say, hey, this is my situation. We'll just have a conversation and see how we can help you get unstuck. So I hope that was helpful. Share this to others that you think might benefit. And what I want to know is in the comments below, what's your preferred conflict style? I'm very curious if in this group, if we have a lot of validators or if we have a lot of avoiders. And we might have a lot of volatile people, but we'll see. We'll see. So let's just post your preferred conflict style. What's that default that comes up from you? Just scroll back in the lesson here. I think it was about minute 15 that I was talking about the actual thing in the safe way example. Post it in here, and don't ever hesitate to direct message us. We are a message away and can help you with your situation. So I'll see you next Monday night, 6 o'clock, right here on Hear Me Out. Take care.